Welcome back everyone to the Cobra Trading Channel, where we focus on people, passion, and platforms. I'm Alex Bustos, and today we're going to be talking about the traders who have a plan but then just get a little lazy and ignore the plan. When the market is on fire and everything is running, sometimes it can make traders get lazy in their process. Maybe they might even benefit from being lazy. And this is something that you need to be aware of right now before you start executing your trades, because when the market is hot, sometimes you can kind of get lazy with your process, take a setup that is kind of there, and make money because the market is not punishing mistakes. Sometimes when it's a very bull market, you can just buy things and they're just going to go up. You ever hear people say just buy the dip, or you just buy anything and you'll make money? Sometimes that can be the case, and you got to really hone in and make sure that you question yourself every single day and ask yourself, am I following my process? Don't judge on how the day ended, whether it was up or down, judge it on how you traded. When you're lazy and it's a hot market, it doesn't really impact you too much unless you're losing a lot often in a hot market. Meaning you're just being so lazy that nothing is fitting your parameters, nothing is setting up your way. You're not really setting a stop loss. You're just like, I'll just buy this, and everything seems to be going up, so let me just buy it. And don't really have a plan of when to get out, don't have anything set up, don't have anything to prevent you from disaster. Then you can actually be in for a rude awakening where you might just lose your entire account. And we don't want that to happen to you. Then there's the other side of the coin, when the market is very slow. When this happens, let's just say you're being very disciplined, you're waiting for your setup so you feel good. I'm not placing unnecessary trades. Okay, great. But what happens when you're being so disciplined and you don't see your setup? So you get kind of lazy, you kind of lose focus. You're not really focused on the market. You're like, I don't really see anything happening. I'm gonna go chat with some friends, chat with my spouse, or play with my dog, or whatever it may be. Just know that you start to lose a lack of focus. And you may come back every 10 minutes, every 5 minutes, just to see, okay, is there anything else new? And then you might see something that just hits your eyes. And you're like, I've been patient, I've been disciplined, I've been waiting. And then you see it, but because there hasn't been much, you kind of lost practice in staying within your process and following through every box. And this is where it can be helpful to have somewhat of a checklist of writing down what needs to happen in order for you to place a trade. Now, for more advanced traders, anyone who's been trading for quite some time, even if you're not consistent, it can be very hard to force yourself to do a checklist because you're like, I already know what I need to look for. And I myself do fall into this sometimes, where I get a little lazy and I don't execute at all because maybe I don't notice that it's really my setup, and I just kind of recognize it for a moment and notice that this is something I want to pay attention to, and I end up passing on it. Later on in hindsight, I'm like, wow, it really was my setup. What was happening after I questioned things, I noticed I was being lazy in my approach. I was being lazy in being honed in, looking at the big picture, the intraday, the multiple time frames that is so important to do to make sure you see a confluence building up. The other side of this is when you take a trade in the slow market and there's not much to trade, but you finally see something, so you take it and it shows you it's an A setup on the big picture, but intraday, that picture wasn't really developed yet, and then you just take the trade because you're just kind of lazy, like there's nothing really here. Finally something's here, so I take it, and then you take a loss, because if you would have waited to take your time and look at everything, all the time frames to see the intraday and the big picture, then you would have noticed that maybe there's contradicting signs there. So all of this is to say, when the market is hot or when it is slow, you want to make sure you have something in place to keep you on your game. Have a process that keeps you in the zone. Not just a process to trade, but a process to get you in the zone and stay in the zone. Because it's very easy to get lazy, especially when you've been trading for some time. Now you know how important it is to stay in the zone, whether it's a hot market or slow market, and what to be aware of what could happen when you're not in the zone, when it's slow or when it's fast. If you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out to us at cobratrading.com, where we're always happy to help you.